And I'm going to shoot over to Alexander R. in Mount Pleasant. And he says, what should I do to prepare my house for sale? And I appreciate the fact that it's a somewhat broad question, because so many people take this either overboard or, frankly, they don't do enough. Maybe they don't feel like they need to do enough. They don't think that it's necessary to prepare their home for sale because the market is so hot, quote unquote. So I can give you a few examples here, because it's going to be different depending upon your house, your location, your price range, the demand for homes in your area, so on and so forth. But I can tell you what we do. So we walk into the house, and I'm looking at it through the eyes of a buyer and a buyer's agent. And I want to know, as I'm walking through that property, what do I believe would make this home show better? What do I perceive to be a repair that a buyer is going to look for? What are some of the renovations that could take place that other homes have that buyer is going to view when they're looking at comparison properties? And can I give them any advice that might just make the overall showing experience better for them? So I usually ask sellers to show me the property the way in which they would show it if they were selling it to a buyer, which is helpful. And so as we're going through the property, I'm talking with them about, hey, what's going on with, this repair here? And usually they're like, oh yeah, that's something that we're going to take care of. Or, the other question, of course, is, should we address that, or should we just kind of leave it? I don't know what to do. And so one of the ways around this is that anybody that lists their home with us, we do a free staging consultation. We have a professional designer and decorator come in, and we walk through every room of the house, the inside, the outside, and you walk away with a list of things that you not necessarily must do, but that we highly advise you to do. And then you have a secondary list of things that these are things you should do, and then these are things that you could do. So it's kind of in order from most important to least important. But the idea here is that you want to turn your home, as silly as it sounds, into a product. We get really used to living inside of our homes. And, a great example was a home that I was selling in West Ashley. It was beautiful, very nicely done, custom-built home. And the owners loved Game of Thrones. They were obsessed with Game of Thrones. And so they literally, arranged their family room so that they had a lazy boy station right in front of the TV, and they would binge watch Game of Thrones. So he had two lazy boys in the middle of this beautiful family room for he and his wife, with a coffee table between them, between the two chairs, and then other tables on the other side of the chair with lamps. And it was just their own makeshift movie theater in their family room. And clearly it wasn't the highest and best use for that room. So we had them rearrange everything, stage it. The home sold. It was everything went very well. But it's just an example of the fact that you're going to get used to living in your house. And just because you live in your house a certain way does not mean that that is the best way to showcase all that your home has to offer. So we first talk about staging and decluttering and making sure that your home looks as attractive as possible. And then we differentiate between repairs and renovations. I am very much so a fan of repairs, not renovations. Frankly, very rarely have I seen somebody renovate their home to sell, in which case it sold for more money than they invested to try and sell it for more money, if that makes sense. In other words, they did not get $1 or more back on the renovation. And I'm not talking about replacing carpet if it's old or ugly. I'm talking about, hey, should I renovate this kitchen? Should I rip everything down and put in new cabinetry and countertops and stainless steel appliances? No, I think that's a losing proposition more often than not. Again, it kind of depends, but I have a list of 90 things to do to sell your home for top dollar. It's a book that I wrote personally. It's based off of all of the appointments that I've been on, the 10,000 plus homes that I've walked through, and the advice that I've given, as well as the advice that I've received from other professionals, to put your home in the best light possible. So if that's something you'd like a copy of, feel free to text me 843-345-1273. Text the word guide to 843-345-1273, and make sure you include your email address in there, and I'll send it right over to you. 90 things to do to sell your home for top dollar in any market.